Hi there, and happy return to the Celeb Culture channel. Before we begin the show today, let me introduce myself as Rachel and ask if you haven't already subscribed to our channel. If you adore Taylor Swift, by all means do so. This is the channel for you if you enjoy discussing any news about Taylor Swift, her new songs, rankings, or hot takes on anything and everything Taylor Swift. As a result, please click the subscribe button. You won't want to miss anything, especially since we will be talking about a lot of topics leading up to the release of a new album in a few weeks. Alright, so the first story we're going to discuss today is one that I'm actually sort of attempting to determine whether or not it's true. According to a report that appeared in Us Weekly, Taylor and Travis are considering moving in together full-time. They have obviously spent a lot of time together over the past month or so. As for Taylor, I'm not sure if she has another 6 weeks off after wrapping up her tour for this one. They essentially spent the entire time together in Los Angeles. They clearly took a vacation in the Bahamas after that. We believe they spent a few days in Nashville and possibly spent Easter in Philadelphia, but the truth is that they have been together for a long time. However, once more, Us Weekly claims that they might be deciding to live together permanently. Now, this report claims that they would be dividing their time between Los Angeles, New York, and Kansas City, obviously especially during Travis's Chiefs season. I believe that the majority of their time together would be spent in the fall or winter of this coming year. If not, they would spend it in Los Angeles or New York, which makes sense given that two extremely famous people would undoubtedly want to spend time somewhere where they can at least pretend to be regular people. Although Taylor is obviously a huge Nashville fan, she is sadly far too famous to be spending a lot of time in the city at this point in her career. I believe that going out to dinner, hanging out with friends, and other activities are just a little bit easier in New York and Los Angeles for someone like her. Not that much easier. They would therefore divide their time among these three distinct cities, which again makes perfect sense. Furthermore, the report stated that getting engaged is not a hasty decision. There's no rush to get engaged because they're enjoying themselves so much. It's a very healthy relationship, and she appreciates how grounded Travis is. They're both considering what to do next because the situation is quite serious. Alright, do I really believe they're thinking about moving in together permanently? Yes, in a sense. However, I don't think they'll be buying a house together very soon. And that's the distinction between common people like you and me and celebrities. There would be a lot of conversation to have if we wanted to move in with someone. For example, will the other person give up their house and move into yours? Will you move into their house and give up yours? Since most people cannot afford to own multiple homes, only a select few, like Taylor Swift and obviously Travis Kelce, are able to afford multiple residences across the globe. Therefore, no one has to give up their residence to move in with someone else. Instead, they are free to live in any of these various homes whenever they choose. They won't have to decide things like, are we going to sign a lease together? Will you and I jointly take out this mortgage? Who will be the owner of this house? They don't have to work together. Their relationship doesn't actually need to change, and they don't have to decide anything important together. If that makes sense, they will simply be in the same location at the same time. Thus, I believe they will continue doing what they have been doing for the past month or so in Los Angeles, and yes, they will technically live together during the duration of their relationship. It's not like they will be purchasing a home or anything like that. Again, Travis owns a house in Kansas City, so I guess this is kind of true, but it also makes it sound much more intense than it actually is. It stands to reason that they will spend their time at Taylor's residences in New York and Los Angeles. Thus, no, it's not. They will simply spend the same amount of time in the same amount of places, much like some important life decisions that must be made. However, as everyone is aware, Taylor will essentially be traveling abroad from the middle of May through the end of August, give or take, due to her upcoming tour. That means that she will be gone for roughly 4 months or 3.5 months, during which they will engage in some sort of long-distance relationship. Following that, the football season will immediately begin, during which they will likely spend a significant amount of time in Kansas City. Thus, I don't believe this story is false. Rather, I believe it exaggerates the significance of the incident. We know they visited the Bahamas only a few weeks ago, but the report also mentioned that they might be considering taking a second vacation soon. It sounds like they might be vacationing in the United States. They mentioned that they wanted some quiet time and planned to travel again soon. Aspen and Lake Tahoe have been discussed because they make it simpler for them to travel within the United States. Thus, once more, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Aspen and Lake Tahoe are gorgeous locations, and it would be very simple for them to travel to Lake Tahoe from Los Angeles, so I wouldn't be surprised if they took a little getaway as a celebration for Taylor's album release. And after that, she'll drive to Europe. However, I believe they'll visit the Macala. I've already discussed that. Thus, there will be a lot of exciting things in the report going forward. As I previously stated, they're very serious about getting engaged, but there's no rush. Although I don't think engagements are rushed, I do think it's kind of delusional to think that people aren't talking about engagements. They are talking about those topics because they are 34 or almost 35 years old. They're having that conversation regardless of whether they want them or not. And they have not. They haven't been dating for a whole year, either 8 or 9 months, depending on when you believe they started dating, but I still believe they will get engaged by the end of the season or the year. However, I have a feeling that it will happen. I'm not sure if this is true, but it seems like there's an unspoken rule in certain places, like the football world, that you shouldn't really get married, engaged, or do anything else during the regular season because it gives the impression that you're preoccupied. For example, if you choose to get engaged during the regular season, it appears as though your attention is diverted, which is kind of silly, like everyone's focus. Since many of these athletes are parents, it makes sense that they would prioritize their families and romantic relationships in their private lives. It may seem absurd, but from what I've heard, most football players who have recently announced their engagements did so during the off-season, just before the start of the regular season. As a result, I have a sneaking suspicion that it will occur sometime in the summer before the season begins because Travis seems to be acutely conscious of the fact that he wants everyone to believe that he is totally focused on football and not easily distracted. Thus, I continue to predict that they will have a ring on her finger by August. Let's see. Now, on to some other news which I found to be somewhat humorous. Apparently, Taylor Swift's mother had doubts about either her trademark red lip or the future red lip that she constantly sports. During an appearance on the Today Show, makeup artist Gucci Westman disclosed that she was the one who either created or encouraged Taylor to wear the recognizable red lipstick on the magazine cover in April 2009. She recalled, "I really wanted to do a red lip on her because I hadn't seen her in a red lip before, and her mom was like, well, Taylor doesn't wear red, if I can say that, a long time ago, and I said, will you please let me try gazing at her right now?" As for Taylor, in 2009, she would have been, 19 years old, give or take. Math is not my strong suit, but even so, she would have been relatively young, and wearing red lipstick is unquestionably a mature look. It actually kind of ages you. I would say that not many young people wear red lipstick, but it's funny because Taylor Swift has made it such a signature look. It's not like she named her album Red because of the red lipstick, rather. It's just that she wears red on the album cover and loves red lipstick in general. Thus, I'm not sure. If it weren't for this makeup artist, I think she still might have discovered the red lipstick, but thank you for creating the signature look that is Miss Taylor Swift. The final bit of news is just plain hilarious and is more. The idea that Travis Kelce might have already chosen the name of his first child kind of made me laugh, even though I don't think it's particularly serious. Thus, new heights on Wednesday, Travis and Jason Kelce's podcast went live, and Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger, a very famous guest, was on the show. Travis also disclosed that he may choose to name his first child after one of Arnold's well-known personas. In case you are unaware of the 1982 movie Conan the Barbarian, Travis intends to possibly give Conan's name to his child. "I might name my first kid Conan," he remarked. Maybe. Which I feel compelled to address first. Is Taylor Swift aware of this, as I find it difficult to see. Conan Kelce is like a really cool name that kind of works, but I'd really like to know if Travis or Taylor are aware of this. And it does lead me to reconsider why, in my opinion, we shouldn't. I believe it's because we have this idea that famous people should get married and start a family, and we don't really know what people want in real life. I don't think it's fair for us to place those expectations on people unless they openly state that they want to get married and have children, but it does make me wonder, okay, have they discussed having children? If that's the case, you have to picture someone as meticulous, imaginative, thoughtful, and well-organized as Taylor Swift. You are aware that she loves her baby names and has a notes app on her phone. She definitely does, and it seems like she has been doing so for a very long time, similar to recording names that she finds appealing. And since my impression is that she does not have Conan on that list, I would like to know if that is the case. Who knows, though? Perhaps Taylor and Travis will name their child Conan if they become parents. We'll have to hold off and see. That concludes today's episode, guys. Once more, kindly follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you all again soon. Goodbye.